Hello guys, I am Mansoor. Welcome to our YouTube channel The Coders Bridge. Today we will be seeing about loops. In our previous session, we saw about variables in Power Automate desktop flows. So if you haven't watched those videos, I will be giving the link in the description as well as in the I button. Please do watch it. And in this session, we will be working with how can we iterate loops, how can we iterate while loops, how can we iterate the for each loops, and how can we iterate the elements inside the list by using a for loops. Okay, so let us jump into the video. Before going to the video, I want to clear one thing. So normally, uh, when we code, right, we have two different kinds of loop. First thing is for loop. For I is equal to 1, I less than 5, I plus plus. Okay, this is our one loop, and here will be our code. Okay, so now let me just drag and drop the loop. Here we can able to see, right, the similar kind of setup is here. Start from, which is I is equal to 1, the initialization part. End to, which is I is less than 5, the end part. Increment, which is I plus plus 1. Okay, this incremental operator. So that we have here. So this is similar to for loop which we have in C and C++. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a variable. So we'll create some variable known as counter. Okay, let initialize that variable with some value. We'll initialize that variable with 0. No, we'll keep it as 1. Okay, so now let's go into iterate the loop. So our start index will be counter. Our end index, either we can create variable. I will be just giving 6, and I will be incrementing by 1. You can also increment. So normally we used to give, right, I plus plus. So I value initially is 1, so it will be incrementing 1 1 1. If you give I like 2 means it will be incrementing for 2 times. Okay, so by default we always give it 1, and I will click on save. So I will just enter a message box, and I will just display. I will do one thing. I will just put counter, and I will just put this loop index. Okay, so let me clear this annotation. Okay, so let me go ahead and run this. So we can see that we have a 6 as an end counter. So now the loop index is 1. That's why we are getting counter 1. Loop index is 2, counter 2. So it will be iterating till the last index, which is 6. You can see, right? So normally in Python the last index will be eliminated, but sorry, why I'm talking is the Python about here. So the last index is considered in Power Automate desktop. Okay, so now you guys are clear, right, how to iterate a loop based upon the values with increment operator. Okay, so now we'll see what is this loop condition. Okay, before going to loop condition, I want to make clear one thing. So now we saw about this is something a for loop. This loop is nothing but a for loop. Okay, now we will be seeing while loop. What is the condition of while loop? While I is equal to 5, or rather than I is equal to 5, we'll keep it as I is less than 5, and this is our code, right? Let me rub this. So this is our by default while loop. So while I is less than 5 and with some value. So let us drag and drop our loop condition. Okay, if you see our loop condition, here we have two operands, the initial value and the end value. Same thing, first operand, second operand, in between we have the operator, right? So I will just put one thing. We have initiated a counter value to 6, right? Counter value to 1. So I will do one thing. I will just bring this down. Oh my god, it got deleted. Okay, no problem. We'll create a set variable. We'll rename this to, or we have already, we have variable, right? We can select that. Yeah, we'll keep that value as 6. Okay, so now our counter value is 6. We will be iterating a while loop. In this while loop, what we will be doing is first operand will be counter. So if I value is less than, so count. Okay, let me do one thing. So let me create a temporary variable. So I have created a temporary variable and I will declare this value as 1. Okay, so now we have two variable, which is this part and this part. So I will say temp is less than, we'll keep less than or equal to counter. So initially our temp is 1, our counter is 6. 1 is less than 6, right? Obviously, so it will go inside this loop. So when, if we want to, um, for example, let me just show you by putting a message box. I will put, sorry, the title will be while loop and the message will be counter temp. So we'll keep like this, temp and counter. Okay, so now we have two values, but there is a problem here. If I value is in first iteration, I value is, sorry, temp value is 1, 1 is less than 6, it will go inside. So in the second loop also, because as we saw in this loop, right, here we have automatically operation, increment operation will be happening, a counter variable will be get in automatically increased. But in loop condition, while loop, we need to do that manually. So for doing that, we need to increment our counter, right? For incrementing the counter, I already told, right, we have a variable which is increase variable. So we will be increasing the variable. So initially, which variable we need to include? Temp. So we need to increase by 1. Okay, so now we are doing the increment variable. We'll see how it works. I've just run it. So now the temp value is 1 and counter value is 6. It will be going inside. So now temp value is 2. So this is incremented and counter value is 6. Temp value is 3, counter value is 6 is satisfied. Again 4 and 6. So 5 and 6. It is also satisfied. Now if you see, temp value is 6 and counter value is 6. That means we have used a equal to operator. That's why it's going inside. In next condition, it will stop because the next temp is incremented to 7. 7 is not equal to 6. That's why it came outside. Okay, I hope like you guys are clear how can we use for loop and while loop. Okay, now we'll see what is this next and if condition. Sorry, what is this exit condition? Okay, so I will do one thing. So now we are incrementing our value from 1 to 6. So suppose there is some business logic in the seventh, or sorry, in the fourth or fifth counter, we should not perform such kind of operation. For example, we have multiple files. We should not perform some operation for the fourth file or the fifth file. In that case, we need to skip the particular file, right? So I will be using a if condition. If temp is equal to 4, I will be just skipping or continuing. So normally we have an operation like continue, right, in automation anywhere and UiPath. It will be skipping the particular iteration. So I will be just doing a skip, and we will be seeing what is the value over here. So we'll create one more message box. We'll name it as temp and we'll display the temp value over here. So let me run it again. So now the value is 1, temp value is 1. So if temp is equal to 4, then only it will skip the loop. It will not go inside and it will be displaying us the message. Okay, 2, it's fine. Again, for 3 also it will not go inside. So now our temp value is 4. So it will be going inside and it will be not showcasing us this message, and it will be not incrementing the variable. Directly it will be skipping the loop. So let's see now. See, it got skipped again. The temp value is 4, right? Because what we need to do is, see, it is a dead end loop. So actually here if temp is equal to 4, we have next loop, and it will be not executing this display message and increase variable. It will be automatically going to next iteration. So this became a deadlock. It will be iterating for infinite loop. In this scenario, we just need to, so let us stop this. What we need to do, we have this increment variable, right, that we need to keep inside this part. We'll keep this part over here. Okay, now let us run this. See, now our temp value is 1, counter is 1. So we will be getting this display message. Now temp is 2, it will be going, not going inside. Now temp is 3, is fine. Now temp is 4. Okay, if the temp is 4, it will be going inside and it will be not displaying this message box. See, it didn't display this message box, rather than it incremented the value and it skipped that particular loop, right? We didn't get the 4 value here. Okay, it will be directly going outside and printing the 5 value. See, now we got 6. That's it, loop is completed. Got it? What happening is, if we all know, right, what continue statement is, so like that we will be just giving the next loop. Okay, now we'll see what is this for each loop. Okay, before going to for each loop, let me delete this entire part. Let me create a list variable. I will create a list variable and I will set some values to it. I will be adding some value like summer. It will be added to my list, and I will add one more value. I will add winter. Okay, so now I will go ahead and I will drag and drop this for each loop. So which value we need to iterate? So we need to iterate list value, right? So it will be by default, it will be storing in current item loop. Okay, so if we just give, it is something like a normal loop which we use in UiPath, right? For each loop, the same thing it will be showing it over here. Let me just go ahead and display the values over here. So I will just put list values, and let me select the current item loop. So if I run this, it will be iterating the list values. So first value in the list is summer, second value in the list is winter. So it is normally for each loop is to iterate the list or data table values. So if we are iterating something to Excel, right, that time also we will be using this for each loop. Okay. I hope like you guys understand what is loop, and exit loop is nothing but, as we saw before, right, if I is equal to 4 we skip the loop. So in that case, if for example if we are encountering any exception, or if we are encountering any condition, if you want to skip the particular loop, if we give the loop will terminate there. So next loop will skip the particular iteration, exit loop will terminate the loop itself. Okay, so I hope like you are clear what is loop, and in next session we will be seeing about the conditions, which is if conditions, and switch case statements, and what is the default case that we have. Okay, so if you like this video, please do subscribe, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. So until then, thank you, bye bye.